CNC high-speed milling machine. As you can see here, we can fix totally 21 tools at a time, and we can call them as per our need from the control panel. With the help of the spanner, you can set the workpiece on the work table. We can fix the workpiece and we'll tighten it with the help of the spanner. So this is our workpiece. So numbers are marked, maybe for experimental purpose. And then we will cover it to secure it with the help of screws, so that it may not come up along with the tool when the tool is retracting. If you want to use a new tool which is not actually here, you can do it as well. So you can fix it, maybe a special geometry tool. You can fix it and then you can use it. What you see here is the control panel of this CNC high-speed machine. I can enlarge this control panel into 3 sections: the screen, the buttons, and the knobs. The screen displays the settings. Whatever you set from the buttons will be displayed in the screen. The buttons are provided to the settings like axis settings and chord settings, and the knobs are provided in order to increase or decrease the speed and start or stop the machine. On the buttons, whenever the LEDs are on, which means the button is enabled. If it is not on or off, the button is disabled. So here you see the Z-axis light is on, which means now the Z-axis selection is on progress. And below that you see X100 light is also on, which means the speed, which means into 100, into 10, into 200. So how much we can increase the speed. And spindle LED light is also on, which means now the setting is for spindle. So in this machine, the Z-axis is for spindle and X and Y axis are for work table. So whenever you set the X and Y axis, the work table will move, and whenever you set Z axis, the tool spindle will move. So as you can see here, when the Z axis light is on, and when you rotate the knob, the spindle is moving up and down. So Z axis movement is up and down. When you press the X axis, so X plus and X minus the LEDs will be on, and this denotes the movement of the work table sidewise. And when you press Y, the Y LED is on, and you can rotate the knob so that the work table would move back and forth. So the Y axis is front and back. As you can see from the screen, whatever the axis you select and rotate the knob, that would be displayed in the screen. Now the Z axis movement is on progress. So coming down is negative Z and going up is positive Z. So once the tool is just touch the workpiece, you will set that Z position as 0. Once the spindle reaches very near to the workpiece, you will move the knob very slowly so that the spindle will just touch the workpiece without exerting any force. Once the tool just touch the workpiece, you will press the button POS, which means position, and then Z then you will press 0, which means you set the position of Z as 0. So from here onwards, your machine will read the just touching position as 0. As you can see here, when the movement is up, it is positive Z. So you can retract the machine and then you can insert your program and run it. You can put this in the computer and you can upload the program and you will insert it into the machine and then machine will read the program. Or else you can connect the PC or lap directly to the machine as well, but this is the easiest way. And the letter buttons, English letter buttons provided here, the O, N, G, P, these all are for editing the program, or you can write the program. So once you insert your program, in case if you want to edit something, you can edit it from here. How to write the program, what are these codes means, these all will be explained in another video. When you press the axis and selecting the position, 3 actions would be happening simultaneously. You will rotating the knob, which can be seen in the screen, while at the same time the work table will be moving. So moving right is negative X and moving left is positive X. Similarly, Y moving backwards is negative Y and Y moving front is positive Y. You can change the operating tool also from this panel. So for that, first you will off the spindle, so which means the LED on the spindle would be off. Then you will close the door. Then you will press the CNN button, which is to change, and then you will press input, which means which tool we are going to input. So on the screen we can see, so there we can insert which number of tool we are going to insert. So I'll press 8, so which means 8th number tool is going to come into action. And then you press input and press OK. So now the 8th number tool will rotate and come above the workpiece. So there you can see the 8th number tool is above the workpiece, so which means 8th number tool is going to do the working action. We'll look another example. Say I want to use the tool number 6. First we should close the door, otherwise this action will not happen. We'll select tool number 6, then press input and then press OK, and in the screen you can see tool number 6 is on the spindle, and then you press start. It will automatically rotate and bring tool number 6 on the spindle just above the workpiece, and then by just rotating the x-axis you can bring the spindle above the workpiece. And then once you on the spindle, which means the LED on spindle is on, which means the spindle start rotating. And if you want to stop it, then again press on the same spindle, the LED light would be off and your spindle rotation would be stopped. In the screen, the S showing is the spindle speed. So while the door is open, you can go maximum of only up to 100 RPM. But while the door is closed, you can go up to around 15,000 RPM. To set the RPM of the spindle, on the screen I will touch the spindle diagram and then I will set it for around 5,000. And then you press input and then press OK, and then it will be displayed on the screen 5000 RPM. By the same time, it will also show press cycle start button. So when this is shown, you can start the button. But if you open the door while it is rotating, I mean while the spindle is working at 5000 RPM, it will automatically stops. You see here. You can edit the spindle speed also. So you can edit it to maybe 3000 and do the same process. You can override the spindle speed also while it is working. Near to the spindle button you can see a spindle up and down, right? There is spindle minus and spindle plus in the symbol. This will be used to increase or decrease the speed while the spindle is in work. By pressing up you can increase the spindle speed, and by pressing down you can decrease the spindle speed. So when you press spindle minus, the LED on the spindle minus will be on, the screen would be decreasing the speed, you can see it from the screen, and the machining speed will also be decreasing. And 100% is provided to make the spindle just as to the speed which you have already set. And once you press the stop, spindle would be stopped and you can open the door.